Hey there, welcome to LSAT Demon Daily. I'm Erik Johansson, a teacher with LSAT Demon. Joining me is Nathan Fox, co-founder of LSATdemon.com and the weekly podcast, Thinking LSAT. Today we've got an email from Nicole, who has a 164 on record and a 3.4 UGPA in a STEM degree.
Nicole says, I want to work regionally and don't care about ranking, so my target school's 75th percentile LSAT is a 158 with a 25th percentile GPA of 3.4, making me a splitter. Common?
Yep.
My question to you is, how much higher than the 75th percentile does it no longer matter? I'm pretty positive I can score higher on the LSAT, but due to personal reasons, I wouldn't be able to study rigorously until October. This means a retake delays my app from September, October to November or December at the earliest. Or next cycle, in which case you still could apply at the very beginning of the cycle.
Right.
Given I'm already 6 points above my target school's 75th percentile GPA, would increasing my score to, say, 10 points above their 75th make a material difference in scholarship offers? Do admissions committees care at that point, especially at the cost of delaying my application to December? The only reason I can see to do this is so that I can get better scholarships at higher ranked schools and leverage those in negotiations with my target school. Would love to hear what you think. Nicole,
I think you have a pretty good idea of what's going on here. In a vacuum, I don't see how, well, I'll put it this way. I think you're going to see diminishing returns on LSAT scores above a school's median. Just statistically, what a school cares about is their median. And whether you're 1 point above their median or 15 points above their median, that's not going to change what they report to the ABA for their 5 and 9 reports. It's not going to affect their rankings. Do some schools care about their 75th percentile for other optical reasons? Maybe. I think that's going to change from school to school. Ultimately, I think it's the median that matters the most.
Yeah, and Nicole's already so far above the 75th that it's not going to change the 75th percentile at that school anyway.
Yeah.
So they're not going to like a higher LSAT for rankings reasons. They might, though, be concerned about her GPA. And the fact that she's a splitter could be a bit relevant here. They look at your 3.4 and they go, ooh, other people have really struggled to do well in law school when they didn't do well in undergrad. Oh, but you did have a STEM degree.
Yeah.
And your LSAT is higher. But 164 is not like knocking it out of the park higher.
Yeah, but can this school that we're talking about with a 75th percentile of a 158, can they afford to be that picky?
And they might not even know the difference. They might not even be able to tell the difference between a 164 and a 170. There is a big difference there, but they might not be familiar with students like that, is what I'm saying.
Sure. I think what it comes down to is it probably doesn't make that much of a difference for this one school in a vacuum when you're just thinking about what they care about for their ranking. Yep. But Nicole asked the question about leverage, about perhaps getting a higher LSAT, so that might translate into offers from competitive schools. What do you think about that?
I absolutely think that it could matter in that regard. And I think that you should, Nicole, apply more broadly. Even if you have one school that you're sure, that you really want to go to, you don't necessarily want to send them that message too soon. And I think if you only apply to one school, then you know it, potentially they know it, and it hurts the kinds of offers that they're willing to give you. Some schools explicitly have programs where you can show them a better offer from another school and they will reconsider your scholarship offer. You'd have to find out whether your school does this. They might try to tell you, though, oh no, we don't negotiate scholarships, and go back to that thing of, well, they don't negotiate scholarships, but
I'm not trying to negotiate. I just want to have a conversation about how I'm going to finance my legal education.
Absolutely. I just have some concerns. I was wondering if I could sit down with you maybe and talk about my concerns.
Yeah.
And then when you go to talk about your concerns, you talk about price, and you are in a much more powerful position. Even if you don't show them the competing offers, you just know that you have competing offers.
Yeah.
You have a walking away point. And you never know. If you apply to 10 schools, some schools might make you offers that are so good that you have to walk away from this, what was previously your number one target school.
Yeah. But in my experience, having gone through a round of applications and talking to other applicants, showing a competing offer from a school that school actually considers to be the competition, that's the thing that moves the needle.
Yeah, they know that you have a credible threat to walk away, like this cycle. And you're like, well, why would I pay this much to your school when I could pay less than that at this other better school?
Right.
They have to match that. Or, if they want to play the game, they could still say no. But they could also say yes. And I've seen people get like 6 figures more money because they had those other competing offers. So I would encourage you, Nicole, no matter what, to apply broadly.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think you can score higher on the LSAT, if your practice tests indicate that you can score higher on the LSAT, what is this? I wouldn't be able to study rigorously until October. I don't think it requires rigorous study. I think it requires a little bit to stay sharp and potentially keep improving. It sounds like you're probably not registered for August, but it sounds like you should have been. We always encourage people to take the LSAT multiple times if necessary, backups to your backups to your backups. Mm-hmm. And for you, if you think 164 is good enough, but you also have some practice test scores that indicate that maybe you could do better, I think you should keep taking it. And don't worry that you can't study rigorously, because you've already learned some skills that are going to continue to pay off. Even if you studied an hour every other day or something, I think that you would continue to get better at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. Maintaining that ability, it's less like being an elite level cyclist and more like just riding a bicycle. Like you remember how to ride a bicycle. Like you'll okay, maybe 2 minutes and you're like, okay, I remember this. Yep. Elite level cyclists, if you don't train for like 2 weeks, then you're gonna see some detraining. But that's not what we're talking about here.
This just isn't an athletic endurance type of a thing. It's like, okay, have you learned that the test makes sense? Have you learned like what kinds of things they ask you? Can you read it carefully to understand what it's actually saying and what it's actually asking and what that answer actually says? And once you've learned how to ride that bicycle, I don't think it's certainly not going to diminish if you do, like I said, an hour every other day or something. That's not rigorous. So maybe there's a way that Nicole can take the test sooner than she thinks.
Yeah. I don't settle for applying in December.
And feel free, Nicole, to wait another cycle if need be. Mm-hmm. I guarantee you that next September 1st of 2025 will be here before you know it.
What if law schools are gone, though?
Then you would have saved a lot of money from not going a year earlier.
True. All right. Thanks, Nicole. Email daily@lsatdemon.com if you'd like to ask us a question or share some LSAT or law school admissions news. Thanks for listening.